We can move beyond information retrieval to actually using the LLM for action. An agent is essentially a system that can perceive, look at the data, act, make decisions, and use tools to get the job done. Even if these models are great at PhD level and all of that, they still miss the nuances of the day-to-day work. The value of this agentic AI from an enterprise standpoint is just undeniable. Uh, and so even with shortcomings that exist today, there is no point waiting and watching. You should get started and you should scale up, because enterprises starting up in 2024 should build narrow agents. They should not completely offload reasoning to these models. Imagine you're serving a stale HR policy through an HR agent. That would be the last thing that you want to do as an enterprise, right?
Or even pricing, Rajesh, right?
We will start trusting these systems and we will use less and less of our own abilities to judge. And this is a natural course of automation that has happened over years and it will happen. Humans can make good judgments with much lesser data. Our brains are far more tuned to that, to make a good decision on smaller. But these agents will need load and load of data and metadata to make good judgments. 80% of the enterprise data is unstructured. And there's a massive amount of work that's still left to onboard this unstructured data onto these data platforms.
The critical part, I feel like the data and the context has to stay together, because when you are building this LLM agents, you need to have a semantic meaning somewhere.
The data needs to be absolutely fresh and accurate. You just cannot compromise.
Yeah.
And this is really where the agent management system comes in the picture. It not just helps you manage the life cycle of a single agent, but it also helps you manage the life cycle of hundreds of agents at scale.
We've deployed a sales agent at Click, and earlier I used to go to PMs to ask this question. Now I just use the sales agent because PMs upload the data and then it's all done. Meaning, do I need PMs?
As building software becomes faster and faster, cheaper and cheaper, you have a problem of abundance, which means that your competition can come from anywhere. What could be done in months can now be done in days. So you need to think hard when you're starting to build as to what are you going to build and how will it survive this kind of a challenge. You have to decisively move towards becoming an AI engineer and not be a software engineer, because that skill is no longer as valuable.
Right. Yeah.
Almost 80% of the data is unstructured and it's still not there in any of the data platforms, pretty much.
Not there. Yeah.
It's a huge opportunity for data engineers and data architects to play a role, and it will be more valuable if you're an AI engineer today. When it comes to agents and enterprise use cases, there are a lot of nuances. And if you want that extra punch of reliability, you will need continual fine tuning. Now, this is a classic example where you need agents to communicate beyond the organization boundary. We feel that while agents succeed, we will already start building the next layer, which is how can agents talk to another set of agents across the enterprise world. Building a SaaS in 2000 would need you about $1 million, right? And that cost kept shrinking. And before the agenting era started, you could build a SaaS for $10,000. And now it's practically approaching zero.
You can't live with your past skills. You have to upgrade yourself.
Nothing dies in our world. It's always a transformation in a way. There are a lot of benefits of having an open format, which I can work across multiple agents.
For AI, the data readiness for AI is a key topic. And I think in my point of view, this category of observability was never in limelight. It went through a huge downfall. Becomes a lot more critical.
We're seeing a lot of investment in country-specific data centers. And tier 2, tier 3. In fact, one of the trends for India this year is essentially a rise of data centers, tier 2, tier 3 national champions. As we get into the commoditization of the cloud and the customers have more choices of the base cloud itself, there is an inherent question of how are you going to deploy a software or an agent on these clouds?
There's a saying that if we can solve all the world's problem in a one single computer, the world would have in much better position. At the moment you solve a problem in two different computers, that case, all the problems started.
Data quality can never be solved in a structured world. It's very hard.